Tonight on News Watch, storms tear through the Midwest. We'll have an update on damage in central Illinois and around the state.
That storm system has pushed off east of east central Illinois, left us some marks both on the ground with tornado damage and storm damage, and in these temperatures. Colder today. We'll see even colder for the start of next work week. Also,
we'll show you the competition to decide the coolest thing made in Illinois. This is News Watch, and your Wednesday edition starts now.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
Cleanup is underway after overnight storms around Illinois. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Olivia Bennett.
And I'm Matt Williamson. Well, locally, storms left damage and caused delays this morning. Take a look at this. Our crews captured these shots of damage in Mattoon. Storms there knocked out power, which led Mattoon High School to cancel classes. Schools in Jasper County also canceled classes because of power outages. Storms dumped giant hail in other parts of the Midwest and killed at least 2 people yesterday evening.
Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
A rash of ferocious storms ripped across the central U.S. overnight, spawning tornadoes and killing at least 2 people in northwest Indiana.
Last night at approximately right before 7 o'clock, a large tornado hit our community and it hit us hard.
Several people were also hospitalized with injuries, officials say. When authorities arrived in Lake Village, Indiana, they were met with destruction and loss of power.
We have an area that a lot of homes and businesses have been hit. Power lines are down everywhere.
The severe weather resulted in extensive damage to our electrical system around Newton County, including damage to approximately 70 poles, hundreds of locations where there is downed wire, substantial tree damage that needs to be cleared.
While officials work on restoring power and cleaning up debris, Stephen Travis remembers the moment he knew his home was in the storm's path.
I was looking out the front window and I seen a dumpster fly by. That's when I went for cover. I went to the bedroom, the roof lifted off, the ceiling come down, knocked me down, and I climbed it in the closet. And that's where I come out. And debris was everywhere. I mean, the place is destroyed.
A widespread level 2 of 5 risk of severe thunderstorms is in place Wednesday for more than 55 million people from Texas and Louisiana to Pennsylvania. Damaging winds are the main threat with any storm Wednesday. A few storms are possible, especially in the lower Mississippi Valley and parts of Ohio, Pennsylvania, and West Virginia. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
This afternoon, Ameren, Illinois reported 4,600 customers without service. Well, the storms are gone, and it's just now getting a lot colder out there. Ben Whitney is here with the latest on what to expect. Ben?
You're exactly right, Olivia. Those storms are out of our area now, but they have left their mark in the temperatures. You see this cold front here, that's pushing that storm system along off to the east and off the Atlantic coast. These highs today are a little bit misleading, and you'll see why in just a moment. 71 degrees for our high in Charleston, 72 degrees in Effingham. Now, that was very early this morning before that cold front came through, so you can see what we're seeing now. Nearly a 30-degree difference between those temperatures. 39 degrees currently in Charleston, 43 degrees in Robinson. Again, much-needed rainfall with that storm system, though. Nearly 2 inches of rainfall indicator. We're around a quarter of an inch here in Charleston and in Effingham. We do have chances to see temperatures continue dropping off. I'll be back with the full Skywatch forecast later tonight.
All right, thanks for that, Ben. Now in other news tonight, a Warrensburg man is facing criminal charges after authorities say he attacked another man with a sword earlier this month. According to court documents, officers were dispatched to the 700 block of Southside Drive, where they found a man with bleeding cuts to the head, face, and hand. Police say that man told them 45-year-old Rusty Simpson came into his home with another unarmed suspect and threatened him with a handgun, telling him to give up his money. Documents say Simpson then picked up a sword from the victim's bedroom and hit him several times before the victim gave him around $3,000 in value. Court documents show Simpson is charged with aggravated battery and robbery and was denied pretrial release. An Effingham man is facing several drug charges after a police search. Authorities say 38-year-old Alan Matlock was arrested Monday after officers carried out a search warrant at a home on South Willow Street. The search involved the Effingham Police Department and the Drug Enforcement Administration. Investigators say they found crystal meth, psilocybin mushroom, DMT lab, and other drugs inside the home. Matlock remains in custody at the Effingham County Jail while he awaits a pretrial detention hearing and formal charges. High school students will have the opportunity to compete and show their welding skills. Lakeland College officials say the school will host its first high school welding competition March 26th from 8:30 to 2 in the college's welding lab. They say 58 juniors and seniors from 14 area high schools will take part. Students will complete welding projects while professional welders judge their work. The top 3 juniors and top 3 seniors will all win prizes, including professional welding gear. The highest scoring senior will also receive a $500 tuition waiver to Lakeland College. The Illinois Manufacturers Association says, "What's the coolest thing in Illinois?" Well, the public will get to decide just that with IMA's Makers Madness contest. Presented by Comcast Business, IMA says the bracket-style tournament will show off a variety of products, including energy-storing equipment to pantry items. Previous winners include Peoria, Decatur, and Rockford. Makers Madness will crown the coolest thing in Illinois on April 15th, and to vote, visit the website on your screen.
Local law enforcement is stepping up traffic safety efforts thanks to a federal grant. Between March 13th and 23rd, the Coles County Sheriff's Office says they'll focus on stopping impaired and distracted drivers. Authorities will also look for those who are speeding, not wearing their seat belts, and other traffic violations. The efforts are part of the St. Patrick's Day Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over, and Drive High, Get a DUI campaigns. Deputies will partner with the Illinois State Police and the Illinois Department of Transportation as part of the enforcement actions, which are funded by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Well, it's every citizen's dream. The city of Terre Haute is putting residents on pothole patrol. The street department says you can now report that pothole that's been bugging you every day to work by reaching out to the number or email on your screen. They say the more you report, the more they'll fill. City officials say although they proactively monitor street conditions, they can always use the extra help. A single ticket sold somewhere in Illinois has won the first Mega Millions jackpot of 2026. You know, I wish I could say that lucky winner was me, but unfortunately, I did not wake up $533 million richer this morning. I'm not jealous or anything. That drawing was Tuesday night, and the real winner can choose the full jackpot paid out over time or a lump sum cash option worth about $244 million before taxes. Well, I would not call today's weather a jackpot.
No, definitely not. But when Ben Whitney is back to let us know if we can expect better for tomorrow. Ben?
We'll see a little bit better, but certainly not a jackpot today. A near 40-degree drop between this time yesterday and today. We'll see temperatures rebound a little bit for the back half of the work week, but colder temperatures are on their way. Your full Skywatch forecast coming up next.
Antiquing is all about quirky finds, and in New York, a state conservation officer made just that after shoppers spotted a live owl napping on an antique store's shelf. The sleepy screech owl was discovered on the shelf of the East Durham store, cozied up next to another bird of sorts, a chicken-shaped cookie jar. A Department of Conservation officer responded and collected the still snoozing owl and released it into some nearby woods. Ironically, just days earlier, the department had posted a challenge to followers to try to identify 10 different species of wild birds in the state for a chance to win prizes. No word on if this unique antique fine feathered find qualifies. Speaking of stuff found where it isn't supposed to be, firefighters in Florida encountered a slithery situation when they had to remove a large pet ball python that got trapped in the dashboard of a car. WFOR reports the owners had just finished buying pet food for the snake, named Richie, when they found it had fled into the dash, where it remained for some 8 hours until Coral Springs firefighters removed it, without the help, mind you, of their battalion chief, who says he's deathly afraid of snakes and instead opted to work the camera. Finally, wrapping up our Weird Finds Roundup is a taste of the top finds according to Unclaimed Baggage, the U.S.'s sole authorized reseller of lost luggage. They released their annual Found Report, and hinky highlights of left-behind luggage include a bionic knee, a meteorite, samurai swords, and a beekeeper's suit. But the top Weird Find spot went to this robot, which features fully articulated joints and, ironically, what appears to be the head of a suitcase. Sometimes these things just write themselves. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Good evening. It was a pretty stormy start to our Wednesday across east central Illinois. The remains of that cold front and that severe thunderstorm system moving across our area. We saw a few more scattered showers throughout the daytime for Wednesday. Most of that severe threat was already out of the picture, but certainly not last night, though. We saw many different storm reports across the state of Illinois, mainly to the northern third, especially around the Chicagoland area. One area we want to point out here is just south of Kankakee. A community just saw a tornado go through, and we saw a few more tornadoes across the area as well. 24 individual tornado reports. Now, that doesn't mean we had 24 tornadoes, just individual reports of those tornadoes. In our area, though, we did see a few storm reports out there, a little bit to the south of Mattoon, a few wind reports of those wind damages. But generally speaking, the severe threat missed our area, but still left us with some pretty nice rainfall along with that. Nearly 2 inches of rain in Decatur today, a little bit higher than 1/4 of an inch in Charleston, closer to 1.5 inches in Champaign. As we look to tomorrow, though, the drought monitor is going to be updated. Now, the data for this is pulled every Tuesday before the map is released on Thursday, which means that finally all of the rain that we saw last week and last night is going to be included on this map. So we're expecting to see a big reduction in this extreme drought that we're seeing across a lot of our viewing area. Even some of the areas further to the south will start to see a little bit of that drought condition let up as well. High temperatures into the 70s for a lot of us, so that was early in the morning. 71 degrees in Charleston, 72 in Effingham. Right now we're seeing those conditions back down into the 30s under mostly cloudy skies. We'll continue to see skies or temperatures dropping throughout the nighttime. 31 for our overnight low, so back a little bit below freezing, but we will see clearing skies closer to sunrise. Winds coming in out of the west will start to shift a little bit towards the southwest, help to bring in some warmer air for tomorrow. 48 degrees for our high tomorrow. We'll see a pretty sunny start to your day, but eventually clouds will be back in the skies as we move into Friday. But we will be seeing a little bit of warmer temperatures as we look forward. You can see that shift here on our futurecast. We're seeing some sunnier skies towards sunrise and for the morning hours. Those mostly cloudy skies are right back in the picture as we look forward. And again, we've been teasing a little bit of a cool down towards the start of next work week. You can see that big time here, but eventually throughout the rest of the work week and into the weekend, temperatures will be back on the rise. Could even be back close into the 60s by the end of the work week on Sunday. But we do have another rain system moving through. That's going to be causing these temperatures to drop with yet another cold front passing through down into the mid-20s for our high to start next work week. For your 7-day forecast, 48 degrees tomorrow under some partly cloudy skies. We'll see those clouds back moving in towards Friday. 53 degrees for our high on Friday. 50 to start off our weekend on Saturday, but then back up near the mid-60s. Again, that aforementioned rain system is going to cause those temperatures to drop. We could even see the chance for some light flurries overnight Sunday and into Monday. But again, the main condition on Monday, much colder. 25 degrees on Monday. We'll be back up towards 40 degrees for the middle part of next work week. So it does look like we're going to get a little bit of that winter flavor back. So make sure to enjoy these warmer days while they're here.
Well, Ben, I will say Matt and I went out to go shoot a story this morning. And I mean, it was really warm when we left. And when we came back, it felt like 30 degrees colder now.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. That's Illinois for you.
That is Illinois.
What do you guys do?
That's
well,
true.
thanks, Ben. But still to come, Pierce Lehman joins us for tonight's sports headlines.
But first, when could we see some relief at the gas pump? We will have an update from economists next. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
This year alone in the U.S., around 333,830 men will be diagnosed with new cases of prostate cancer, and roughly 36,320 men will die from the disease. Finding the cancer early is key.
That is really, really critical for us to avoid detecting cancer at a later stage.
Dr. Andre Perisco says right now prostate cancer is detected through prostate-specific antigen levels, or PSA. If those levels are elevated, the next step is an MRI. At Cleveland Clinic, he says that imaging technology is already paired with artificial intelligence to help detect cancer and allow patients who don't have the disease to avoid unnecessary biopsies. Now, a new AI tool is going a step further.
So we can actually acquire images with half of the time that it used to take us to obtain a routine MRI.
Perisco says these new AI algorithms being researched also allow for a clearer image because the scan is shorter. So he says patients are more comfortable and move less during the MRI. He says this new tool also allows doctors to better pinpoint areas of concern and do it more efficiently.
There are things that can mimic the appearance of cancer. There are things that can hide some cancer in the prostate as well. And the artificial intelligence can help us improve our diagnostic accuracy.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
In tonight's Economic Watch, energy prices, including for gasoline, rose in February even before strikes on Iran sent oil prices soaring. Now, that's according to the latest inflation report from the federal government.
Karen Kaifa is in Washington with a look at the other ups and downs and what's next.
Inflation held steady last month, according to government data released Wednesday. But economists warn a long conflict in Iran could push future prices higher.
If the conflict drags on and we start to see price increases in other consumer goods because of the increase in energy that increases the cost of production for the producers, then I think consumers are going to feel it in their pocketbooks a lot more.
Annual inflation was unchanged in February at 2.4%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. The report's uptick in energy and gasoline prices between January and February didn't even account for the recent spike at the pumps now, because the February data was compiled before the U.S. and Israel struck Iran on February 28th. Aixa Diaz of AAA says spring is already a time of year when gas prices typically climb.
Springtime is when you've got spring break travelers, you've got gasoline demand going up, the weather's getting nicer, more people want to get out. And also summer blend gasoline will hit the market soon, and that's a more expensive blend of gasoline.
February's inflation report also showed overall increases in the cost of shelter and food. Highly imported goods feeling the impact of President Donald Trump's tariffs, like apparel, household furnishings, and coffee, and medical care. The state of the overall economy may depend upon how much price pressure consumers can take.
Economists have been surprised before at how robust consumer spending is. So I think the impact of sort of this inflationary run on consumer spending would be a little bit more unpredictable, in my opinion.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kaifa.
Locally, GasBuddy reports gas prices around $3.56 per gallon. They report a local low price of $2.49 a gallon in Effingham.
Buying a home in Illinois could soon become more affordable for first-time buyers. Governor J.B. Pritzker and the Illinois Housing Development Authority have announced a new program called Access Home. The program offers up to $15,000 to help first-time home buyers pay for down payments and closing costs. State officials say the program is meant to help working families afford homes as housing prices continue to rise across Illinois. Eligible buyers must meet income requirements and complete home buyer counseling before receiving the assistance. Now we're checking in with Pierce Lehman in sports. Hi, Pierce.
Hi, Olivia. Tonight in sports, the World Baseball Classic continues as the United States take on Italy in a game that goes down to the final pitch. But first, history was made in the NBA last night, and it came from an incredibly unlikely source. Thanks for watching. WEIU Sports Watch Report is coming up next.
The same old playlist? Let Hitmix 88.9 WEIU be your source for your favorite throwbacks and today's biggest hits. No skips needed. From deep dives on local topics, a lively morning show, and EIU Panther sports, we've got your back 24/7. And we're not just hitting play, we're building futures. Because behind every mic is a student making moves. It's your music, your station, Hitmix 88.9 WEIU.
We start tonight with EIU baseball as its home opener against Illinois Wesleyan has been canceled. The game was supposed to take place earlier today, but was canceled due to rain in the area. There is no planned makeup date. The 6-7 Panthers home opener will now take place on the 24th when they host Northern Illinois. For Illinois basketball, one freshman is earning national honors as the regular season came to a close over the weekend. Keaton Wagler has been named to the second-team All-American team by the Sporting News. The Sporting News team are selected by a panel of college basketball journalists and analysts. Wagler has also been named the first-team All-Big Ten and Big Ten Freshman of the Year. Wagler and the Illini will be in action on Friday for the quarterfinal round of the Big Ten tournament. Over to Mattoon, Lakeland Baseball is playing Illinois Central College and gathers their largest margin of victory so far this season. The Lakers take down the Cougars 22-2 behind Jonathan Trotter's 3 RBIs and Eddie Lemendai's 4 RBIs. Six Lakers, scored more than 1 RBI, and Lakeland improves to 15-7 on the season. Up next, LLC will be at Wabash Valley College on Thursday. As for Lakeland softball, they played a doubleheader on the road against John A. Logan College. The first game, the Lakers came out on top 7-3, but couldn't get it done. The second failing 6-4. Up next for Lakers softball, they also traveled to Wabash Valley College on Thursday. Now we move to the NBA, and the Chicago Bulls look to sneak into the playoff race as they take on the Golden State Warriors. Starting in the first, Trey Jones passes the ball to Josh Giddey, and he drains it. Now, in the second, Giddey has the ball again, and he dishes this to the star of the night, Matas Buzelis, who drains this 3. Buzelis would end the night with a total of 41 points, and here he is again, this time getting a monstrous slam dunk. This game would go into overtime, and guess who it is? It's Buzelis, this time draining another 3 as the Bulls win 130-124. Up next, Chicago will travel to LA to take on LeBron James and the Lakers tomorrow at 9. 20 years ago, the late, great Kobe Bryant shocked the sporting world by scoring 81 points in one game, putting him second on the all-time list for most points scored in a game behind Wilt Chamberlain. But last night, bam, it all changed. Miami Heat center Bam Adebayo scored 83 points in a win over the Washington Wizards, giving him the second most points in single game history in the NBA game. Bam's career high before last night was 41, and he had that at halftime. Adebayo wasn't even an all-star this season. Bam's 83-point masterclass was one of the unlikeliest and historic performances by any player ever in any sport. Bam and the Heat are back in action tomorrow night against the Milwaukee Bucks, and he'd do well just scoring half of what he did last night. Flipping over to the mound, Team USA has played a perfect so far in the World Baseball Classic. Can they finish the Classic pool play on a strong note against the sleeping giant Italy? Things have gotten out of hand quick for the USA. In the fourth, down 3-0, Jake Caglione takes Ryan Yarbrough 403 feet to pour salt on Team USA's wound. It's 5-0. And when America needed a hero, Cubs star Pete Crow Armstrong delivers a 3-run homer that brings the home crowd into life. In the bottom of the second, the Stars and Stripes are now within 4. It's the bottom of the ninth, and down by 2 into their last outs, PCA delivers again, making it 8-6 with a solo shot. They couldn't do it right, making one of the greatest comebacks in baseball history. Unfortunately, Team USA's efforts would fall short, 8-6, and Italy's improved to 3-0. USA's playoff hopes now rest on one of 2 outcomes in tonight's game between Italy and Mexico. Either Mexico loses to Italy, or Mexico defeats Italy, scoring 5 or more runs to send USA through on the tiebreaker. Finally tonight, the Indianapolis Colts signed quarterback Daniel Jones to a 2-year, $88 million deal, the largest 2-year deal in NFL history. Jones played for the Colts in the 2025 season, passing for 3,101 yards and 19 touchdowns before missing the final 4 games with an Achilles tear. That's all for sports. Matt, Olivia, back to you.
Coming up, Ben Whitney has a final check of our Skywatch forecast. Thank you, Pierce.
Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
Good evening, Skywatch local forecaster Ben Whitney back with a look at the Skywatch forecast. 31 degrees for your overnight low. Winds are going to be starting to shift from the west, coming in from the southwest. That's going to help lead to some warmer temperatures tomorrow. 48 degrees for our high in Charleston. We'll see a sunny start to your day, but eventually more clouds will be back in the skies leading into Friday. We'll see a little bit warmer temperatures towards the end of the weekend, 63 degrees on Sunday, before a big time drop off back down into the mid-20s on Monday.
Ooh, mid-20s, eek.
It's going to be cold.
That's not good. Thanks, Ben. For more news and weather, be sure to log on to our website at weiu.net.
There you'll find real-time forecasts and, of course, the news video of the day.
And if news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net.
Have a great night.
Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street. The Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.